Hiya, Twin Flames. Hope you're all doing well. I offer you all, and anyone whom's available, yet another one of my tarot readings on the subtle phases of the moon, this time tapping into the first quarter moon and seeing what it would like to extend to our ascending collective for the benefit and advancement of our unique twin flame unions and overall lives in general. Before getting into the reading, however, I always provide a brief dissection of the phase at hand for viewers just in case they need a refresher of some of this info or if they never really knew what it held in store for us in the first place. To begin, the first quarter phase of the moon is a lunar phase that symbolizes and encourages balance, determination, and a time for decision making, which is the same when applied to twin flame spiritual awakenings as well. When using my intuition, I analyzed and took notice of the fact that, when in this stage, half of the moon is lit up, while the other side is not, giving me vibes of congruence and symmetry right away, which is bringing the message and theme that we should work with the first quarter moon to become a much more balanced, aligned, authentic version of ourselves. So we may carry this into our union, and so we may successfully take on and fulfill whatever mission or project we're working on, or that may soon be approaching at that time from this angle, but also just in general, to take this congruence with us for the entirety of our lives, which I'm going to intend occurs for us as much as possible all throughout the reading, in terms of balancing ourselves, in order to get us a great head start on this. To continue, it rises around noon and sets around midnight, which could be interesting for those of you whom didn't know or whom seem to have forgotten that the moon, our intelligent, conscious, innocent moon, works like the sun in this very same cyclical way. It is named for its position in the lunar cycle, just like the last quarter moon, which is symbolic of the first quarter of that particular month. It is also interestingly considered a waxing moon due to the illuminated portion of the moon increasing, waxing meaning to increase or grow bigger, which is why I also partially named the title of the video this, but also because of how close it is in proximity and relativity to the waxing crescent phase just prior to it, even providing the collective with a sort of top-off of the energetic theme, message, and light code influxation from the waxing crescent phase to make us more whole, more self-assured and aware, much more sharp, conscious, and headstrong, and our unions a lot stronger and refreshed as we come out of it. With all that said, I hope this was enough to fill your cup and to make you feel whole enough to get into the tarot reading. So let's do it. The first card that wanted to provide us the enlightenment that we need as we tap into the moon to receive it is the King of Swords. So here, I'm getting such a daring, judgmental glare emanating from deep within the green eyes of the king in the illustration, which feels like it is darting straight towards all of the enemies of Christ, enemies of God, enemies of innocence, and enemies of our holy, high vibrational, rapturous, heroic unions in addition as an effect, since we are made of and stand so strongly for all of these things. He does this as he shakes his head profusely with disbelief at the sheer pathetic behavior they're all displaying now that the veil has been completely lifted and they have officially lost their own spiritual war. The deep undercover, air quotes, Hunger Games, the Maze Runner, the Purge, Zombie Apocalypse, Holy Grail race ascension process, that is, and must be exposed because of this, and then banished from our sacred kingdom at once, even more pathetically and humiliatingly. So this is most definitely depicting Judgment Day and Revelations period, and the insanely eye-opening parting of the seas event that comes with it, where all of God's children, all of his most dedicated and loyal, and everyone who at least maintained some form of innocence, decency, and love for mankind, gets separated from the devil and his loyal disciples, hidden here for centuries, and just now coming to the surface like a poltergeist. So this is just like a system flushing, unclogging, and detoxing that wants to take effect here across all of humankind, within our entire planet, and from our entire fairy matrix system, in terms of it being a poltergeist, which will work through all of the fakes, the superficials, the plastics, the disloyals and untruthfuls, the bulk mail and matrix viruses, out of the ethers, out of the heavens, where the low vibrational, egotistical consciousness was stationed for the games, and worked to deeply bring forth and enforce more balance and equilibrium within the entire planet for all of humanity to pick up on and merge into for salvation. Which we illumined Blu-ray Rod and Staff Twin Flames have all the divine authority to initiate ourselves and will right now from the power of my very own gay Rod and Staff union, so that this much needed, much overdue, mandatory system flesh will initiate the grand reset that we desperately need and kick all of the enemies out of the quantum arena, the so-called victors of the games, with the greatest style. Fully getting the picture of what it is they did and everything. How nice and considerate of us. The second and final card we have here today, on this channeling of the first quarter waxing moon, is the Three of Wands. Shortly after glaring at the card, the energies of the three flame-lit staffs surrounding the young surfer in the illustration begin coming with a strong emphasis of energy behind it, alluding that it is unlockable, kind of like a game, or even a fun medieval game that you'd probably find online, or play with a group of friends in board style or something. So after feeling into it for a few moments, I began to realize that this was due to some form of an activation the first quarter moon wanted to provide us, in which we think so kindly, in order to help our individual unions advance to the higher timelines of unlimited possibilities they need to get to both reach salvation, but to also win the games, meaning that this will be the last Mario boost and jump we need, the first waivers anyway, to officially reach the fifth dimension, tag it, and then come back down to the earth again, with all our rewards for completing the entire process to its fullest. This is a game of upgrades, activations, ascension portals, and reaping everything we need from all of these things throughout our several years in the Ascension arena, so that we may become a real-life, crystalline 5D quantum being by the end, proving to all of mankind for eternities just what the beast, what the devil, what Satan had us do to beat him and find salvation, which is also the most beautiful, piercing blessing and permanent commemoration of our trials, tribulations, how we overcame all of them, and what it looks like once we finally do, that all will be forced to see and be tremendously blessed because of automatically is so profound, otherworldly, and wondrous. Now do you see how epic this transformational process of becoming, you could call it, is that we've all been selected to miraculously be a part of? So, when feeling into what the activation consisted of, that the first quarter moon wanted to bestow us with, in order to have a name for it first, the energies of soul family members, or star family members, you could also call them, came through very gently, etherically, yet strongly, in order to shed light on how close these connections are to entering our lives, as well as to convey just how special, timeless, infinite, magical, important, progressive, and congruent they are in terms of our natural, deep mutual understanding of each other at the soul or even cellular level, my guides are telling me, that we have with each other. No more shall you be alone, just like the twin flame journey forces you to be, and even convinces you deserve, in addition, to see if you'll break out of that limitation, setback, and flat out lie that you deserve to be that way, depleted of fun, excitement, entertainment, and merely working as a slave for society until you get old and die, or until someone happens to come and save you. With the entering of these brand new connections into our lives, which it feels like the ahead, divine feminine Christ polarity of the union is ready to receive before her divine masculine Christ counterpart, just like I've mentioned in past readings when referring to the soul family. Nothing but productivity, high-level experiences, and rewarding opportunities that truly takes you sky high, way beyond your former bounds, will be the new normal, setting you free from past karma that told you so boldly that you could never take off or that you don't even deserve any of these things at all. The reason the staffs feel like pillars surrounding her in the image is due to how strongly they naturally have her back on personal levels and vice versa, making these for sure our long-awaited ride or die soul connections here without a doubt. So I'm going to ask for the ride or die friendship activation to commence now for everyone open, healed enough, and eligible for this new space or clutter to hit your life it working to wake the soul family up and gravitate them into our realities in the etheric plane, and to get those in the second and third waves prepared in all areas within themselves, for the time being as much as necessary, for these sacred unions to finally enter their lives in the future. And now I feel we are all much more whole. And that concludes your Twin Flame Ascension Energies reading on the first quarter moon, this approaching January 7th. I hope that you received all of the help, insight, and upgrades you needed throughout the mini endeavor, and that it carries you forth very well. Subscribe if you feel you receive a lot from these videos of mine. Comment down below if you have any questions, or would love to chat about what you've gathered here today. Donate to my PayPal if you feel you'd love to commune and say thanks. And I'll be back here with more enlightening videos for the Twin Flame Collective in the near future. Bye now.